You don't care what nobody say, nobody think, nobody feel. Be you. Like, and that's where I got that from. Like, she taught me to be myself, and it's okay to be yourself. Like, you don't want to be around her being like Bo Quisha from down the street. Like, be you. Like, so yeah, so then a lot of stuff from my childhood had like was just piled up, and I'm just hiding it because I'm like the crazy fun friend. Like, I don't want nobody to be like, oh, I'm sorry, Tangela. I probably didn't even tell y'all that. My real name is Tangela, but I go by Remy. So if y'all hear me referring to Tangela, that's the other her of me. And yeah, so as I got older, like once I hit my 21, that was my first suicide attempt. And I remember that shit like it was yesterday. I think it was because my boyfriend at the time, was just like doing me dirty. Imagine, I'm 21. I lost my virginity at 18, so I'm just new to this. I was trying to be true to this, but listen. Yeah, like I said, I was 21. I lost my virginity at 18, so I really wasn't into boys and shit like that for real. And then I was just, acting like the other girls were. Meanwhile, I wasn't even doing nothing the other girls was doing my age. So 21 was my first suicide attempt. I tried to take pills, and I remember reaching out to one of my cousins or something, and they see me posted on Facebook. And this was back in 2010, I think, when I just first got on Facebook, and Facebook really started to be like booming, the place to be. It's the place to be, the virtual place to be. I had reached out, and somebody had seen that I had posted some bullshit. Well, I don't want to call it bullshit, but I was, reaching out for help, crying out for help. I'm not even, I take that back. That's not bullshit. I was reaching out for help. And, I was scared, but I took a whole bunch of pills, and they called the police, and the police actually came to my house. They were downstairs knocking on the door, and I just laid there acting like I wasn't there. And I really don't know what happened after that, but I just know that was my first suicide attempt, and I was 21. Then, so I'm just like, this ain't right. Like, there's something wrong. Like, there clearly is something wrong. And whatever, couple days, maybe a week or two after, I'm back to my regular old self, because, depression will sneak up on you. It might last 1 week, might last 2 weeks, might last 1 month, 3 months, 9 months, It has no time limit, and it'll sneak up on you. Just as soon as you think everything is going good, it'll sneak up on you. So, I was doing, good, hiding it or whatever. I'm gaining weight at this point. And then I finally decided to have weight loss surgery. And that happened in 2017. By this time, I was tipping the scales, like over 400 pounds, binge eating, trying to, cover up my depression, eating, just not caring or whatever, on top of the, health issues that I had that were contributing to my weight gain and stuff like that. So at this point, I'm at my biggest or whatever. So I decided to reach out for, to get, a gastric bypass. I had weight loss surgery, and then boom, the weight starts falling off. But they prep you, and they're like, yeah, so you're going to have some issues after surgery, like trying to adapt to the new you and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But what they didn't tell me was, like, your mental is going to be a little off, because, yeah, your mental is going to be off. And then it makes sense to me now that I, look back on it. Yeah, my mental was going to be off because I was 400 pounds. Now I done dropped down to 260 pounds, which was my smallest. And I'm like, this is not who I used to be. Now I'm I'm walking past mirrors, double taking, who is that? But then again, like I said, they didn't, they didn't give enough information on your mental health after weight loss surgery. That shit took a toll on me. So then I got up to another relationship or whatever. And I really cared about dude or whatever. But, shit didn't work out. He crashed my car. He was always bouncing between me and his ex, and it was too much. And then I just wear my heart on my sleeve. When I love and I fuck with somebody, I love and I fuck with somebody. Regardless of what's going on, I be forgiving, and I be too forgiving sometimes, because it's yeah, people are taking advantage at this point. And I wouldn't say that it was acceptance, but I'll say that it was just being a caring person that I am, you know. And when people are going through stuff, like my ex, he was going through shit mentally himself, and then I'm trying to like help him. Meanwhile, my mental is deteriorating fast. So, so something had happened between him, and then I had another suicide attempt. I tried to commit suicide, and then people think that's just like a joke, but it's really not. Like, mental health is real, and when people be watching the movies and shit like that, and seeing people in them padded rooms, oh, I've been there. Okay, I've been in one of them padded rooms. I mean, security jumping on me, trying to keep me restrained from ripping IVs out, and just all that. Like, I done lived that life, so I done seen it. And mental health is real, and it needs to be taken way more. It needs to be taken way more serious than what's going on, because the brain is powerful. Just because you walking around here acting like you all happy, if your brain is telling you to do some shit, you're going to do some shit, because that's the motherboard, right? It's the motherboard. So yeah, my second attempt, I did take a whole bunch of Tylenol, things like that. I was put in Western Psych, which is a mental institution in Pittsburgh. I was in there for a week. They, talked to me, evaluated me, tried me on different medications. Oh, okay, here, try this, boom, boom, boom. Didn't hook me up with no type of therapist really after. But, so yeah, tried medicine. Been in mental institutions, and all right, cool, I'm cool. All right, get out the hospital. Spend maybe a month or two to myself, and then boom, I'm back at it, back in the workforce. So it's like I just swept that shit under the rug, and then just by them giving you medicine, and just sweeping that shit under the rug, and that's just like, it's not cool, because it needs to be taken more serious. Medication, therapy, together, it's a team. Like, you need to be hooking these people up. If you're going to put them on this medication that's supposed to be altering their thoughts and their brains and their feelings and shit, you need to be aligning them up with the next source, and that's talking to somebody. Because the biggest thing with mental health is feeling alone, and that's the worst feeling in the world, is to feel alone. Yeah, it's okay to be alone. People, it's okay to be single, it's okay to be alone, but when you're really alone and you're down and out and you feel like the world's against you, it gets lonely, and the last resort is, I don't even want to be here no more. So then I swept that shit under the rug, tried a different medicine for a while, then it just was not working. And then a couple years later, my last suicide attempt was a year ago, and I just remember taking all these pills, and I used to use alcohol as a medicine. So I used to self-medicate with alcohol, get drunk, drink that Taylor's Port, and that Remy. Listen, I was to litty, and motherfuckers thought that, oh, she's just out there having fun. Meanwhile, deep down back at the ranch, I'm covering up how, like, hurt I am and what I'm going through, like, and I can't take this no more, and I don't want to be here no more, right? Shit was weak as hell, for real. But so my last suicide attempt was a year ago, and it was, listen, my last suicide attempt was five days after my 31st birthday. How old am I? I'm 32. Yeah, 5 days after my 31st birthday. Mind you, the guy that I was dating, he flew in from Charlotte. My friends, we all had like this. I had this Paris themed party at a hotel. Even though, mind you, COVID is going on too. So like, that's wearing on my, what the fuck is the world going through? Like, what's going on? And then I don't know what really triggered. I don't remember what really triggered it. But this time was the third attempt that I attempted suicide, and it was my worst attempt, because if the police, and I was so scared because I just felt my body just shutting down, and the police had to literally like kick into my apartment, and they found me on the bathroom floor, like damn near going in and out. I want to say I took like 500, was it like 50? Was it? I think I took like 50. Hold on. Look, I'm trying to do the math. Oh yeah, I took like 50, like maybe over plus 50 plus Tylenol, extra strength, 500 milligrams. Mind you, Tylenol, the doctors say Tylenol shouldn't even be sold over the counter, but just because how dangerous it is to the liver. And then on top of that, I took over 50 Tylenols, 500 milligrams, and I drank like a half a bottle of Taylor's Port, which is the strongest wine that I think exists. I had drank like a half a bottle of that, and then I drank like, I want to say it was like a little over a half of a bottle of Remy. I was drunk as fuck, high as hell, just going in and out. And I just remember my body was feeling so weird that I was able to just call 911 and tell them to help me. Help me. Help me. And I remember that's all I kept saying was help me. Help me. Help me. And I explained to them, I tried to explain to them what was going on. Next thing you know, the police is here kicking in my door. Ambulance is out there, and they carried me to to Mercy Hospital, which is another hospital back in Pittsburgh. They carried me to Mercy, and I was just so drunk. They hooked me up with IVs and shit going in and out, and it was just to the point that I took so many, but I didn't have to have my stomach pumped, which was crazy. And they said that if I wouldn't have got there as soon as I did, like I possibly could have died. Cause that Tylenol was like really like shutting down my shit. About to start shutting down my shit. So they had like shot me with some shit, I guess to reverse it. And then I just started going off. And I remember this. I was in the bed and I didn't want to be there. I wanted to get out of there. Like I wanted to die. Like, what are y'all doing? Leave me alone. Mind you, I called 911 and I'm telling them to help me. But now I don't want to be here. Fuck you mean? I'm drunk as hell. I don't want to be here. I just tried to commit suicide. Like, let me out of this hospital. Because now y'all are holding me against my will. And they had people in there watching me. Like, sitting in the room with me or whatever. And I just went off. Tried to snatch IVs out. And I remember there was like 6 police officers coming in there, and they were like on top of me, trying to hold me down, and they were like trying to strap me they had strapped me to the bed, and me being strong and powerful that I am, like I got the hell out of the bed straps, and they're like, oh shit, she done broke the soft restraints. And I went and settled down, and next thing you know, I was out. So they had ended up shooting me with some shit to put me down, basically tranquilize my ass, right? I don't know how long I was put down for, but I know I woke up in another room with this nice black lady next to me. She was so nice to me. And I was still strapped to the bed. And I'm like, man, what is going on? Mind you, this time I had hard restraints and soft restraints. Wrists and feet strapped to a hospital bed. This black lady, this older black lady, she was so nice. And she was just like, explaining to me what's going on. I'm here to watch you to make sure you're okay. And we were just talking. And then once I started coming out of it, I remember my sister ordered me some pizza to the hospital. And then they ended up coming and unstrapping me from the bed. And she was just telling me and I remember her saying, girl, what is going on? You are so pretty. I would never expect. Your nails is done. Your hair is done. You're beautiful. You got talent. You can bake. What's going on? And I'm like, ma'am, I don't know. That was my last suicide attempt. Them strapping me to that, me fighting 6 cops, like big ass cops too. They couldn't keep me down. They was getting mad, like they was sweating and shit. I broke about 5 nails, but fuck that. They was like nah. And then they're like, well, we going, kept me there for a few days because my, from me taking all the pills and stuff and having all that liquor in my system, they couldn't release me to a mental health facility. They had to make sure my well-being was taken care of. So then eventually, a couple of days I was in the hospital. Then they found me a bed over at the mental institution, and I went there. And imagine, I'm still like, fuck this, I don't want to be here, fuck y'all, like real shit. And fuck y'all don't know what I've been through. Like, I've been carrying this for all these years, like 20 years plus. Like, fuck you. My mental's been going through it for 20 fucking years. Like, you're not going to sit here, and I don't want you to feel bad for me, but you're not going to know. And what you're not going to do is talk down and look down to me because I'm in this situation right now. Because really, I'm a bad bitch. But yeah, and they just had pissed me off. They wanted to put me in another room with another person. And mind you, I'm going through depression. I don't want to be put in another room with nobody. Y'all better